कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिचार्य अष्टोत्तरस्थ शिष्य ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिचार्य अष्टोत्तरस्थ सिद्धिवान ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवास अधिगो भक्तुंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोधाम की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरा धाम की जय, मायापुर नवदीप धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा मई की जय, जमुना मई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Guru and Gauram. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Mahesh Pandey Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Jai
Hare.
Maharaj. And welcome to everyone for Srimad Bhagavatam class with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. It is Friday, August 30th, 2024 in New York. And tonight or today, we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 3, starting tonight with text number 10.
What's the text number you said?
Text number 10.
10, okay. I can start.
Very good.
Okay. Text 10, yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter number 3, Text 10, talks between Lord Shiva and Sati. Text number 10, yes. Tatra swaptrume nanu mrityu sambhita matrushva sah klingna dhyam cha mataram dakshe chirotkathanama maharshi biruniniyam cha bruna dvaradvajam. My sisters and my mother's sisters and their husbands and other affectionate relatives must be assembled there. So, if I go, I shall be able to see them. And I shall be able to see the flapping flags and the performance of the sacrifice by the great sages. For that reason, my dear husband, I am very much anxious to go. Purport. As stated before, the tension between the father-in-law and the son-in-law persisted for a considerable time. Sati, therefore, had not gone to her father's house for a long while. Thus, she was very anxious to go to her father's house, particularly because on that occasion, her sisters and their husbands and her mother's sisters would be there. As is natural for a woman, she wanted to dress equally to her other sisters and also be accompanied by her husband. She did not, of course, want to go alone. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langate Girim Yat Krupatamaham Mande Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Vishram Shri Govindaya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivaswati Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So sorry I missed those 10 verses before that, 9 verses before that. But in this verse, Sati wants to go to her father's house because there is some yagna going on there. And Daksha gathered all those rishis and all the demigods to their yagna. And of course, as a woman, they like to go to their parents' house and meet their relatives. So that was natural. So now Sati is requesting Lord Shiva to let her go. And it says, of course, she didn't want to go alone. And it seems like she didn't go to her father's house for a long, long time. So it's obvious that she likes to go and see their relatives. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anything else, Maharaj?
Well, Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya today. Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatade Shatana. Well, I had a thought in mind, but I'm going to skip it, actually. So please carry on.
Okay. Any question so far? Ekandra Prabhu, you take care of the chat box, please.
All right.
Okay. Number 11. Okay, let's see. Tadarshvarya majatma mayaya vinirmitam bhati gunatrayakakam tathapyaham yoshida tatvi vichyate dinadaksve bhavame bhavakshitam. This manifested cosmos is a wonderful creation of the interaction of the three modes nature, three material modes, or the actional energy of the Supreme Lord. This truth is fully unknown to me, unknown to you. This truth is fully known to you. Yet, I am but a poor woman, and as you know, I am not conversant with the truth. Therefore, I wish to see my birthplace once more. Purport. Dakshayani Sati knew very well that her husband, Lord Shiva, was not very much interested in the glaring manifestation of the material world, which is caused by the interaction of the three modes of nature. Therefore, she addressed her husband as Aja, which refers to one who has transcended the bondage of birth and death, or one who has realized his eternal position. She stated, the illusion of accepting the perverted reflection, the material or cosmic manifestation, to be real is not present in you because you are self-realized. For you, the attraction of social life and the consideration that someone is father, somebody is mother, and someone is sister, which are illusory relationship, is already over. But because I am a poor woman, I am not so advanced in transcendental realization. Therefore, naturally, this appears to me as a real. Only less intelligent person accepts this perverted reflection of the spiritual world to be real. Those who are under the spell of the external energy accept this manifestation to be fact, whereas those who are advanced in spiritual realization know that it is illusion. Actually, reality is elsewhere in the spiritual world. But as far as I am concerned, Sati said, I do not have much knowledge about self-realization. I am poor because I do not know the actual facts. I am attracted to my birthplace and I want to see it. One who has attraction for his birthplace, for his body, and for other such items mentioned in Bhagavad Gita is considered to be like an ass or a cow. Sati might have heard all this many times from her husband, Lord Shiva, but because she was a woman, Yoshita, she still hankered after the same material objects of affection. The word Yoshit means one who is enjoyed. Therefore, woman is called Yoshit. In spiritual advancement, association with Yoshit is always restricted, because if one is like a play dog in the hand, if one is like a play dog in the hands of Yoshit, then all his spiritual advancement is at once stopped. It is said, those who are just like plaything in the hands of a woman, Yoshita Krida Rugeshu, cannot make any advancement in spiritual realization. But here, Sati admits that she doesn't have too much spiritual knowledge. But as we all know, being a wife of Lord Shiva, she's also realized. As far as we are concerned, we are not realized. But she here presented herself that because she is a woman, she did not understand all these things, which may be true. And even we are also sometimes that illusion. This is my father, this is mother, and everything. In the beginning, we all do that. But little by little, if we progress in spiritual life, little by little, the attraction hopefully is reducing. And first, one has to realize that she is not this body, or he is not this body. He is the spirit soul, and spirit soul belongs to the non-material elements or non-material place, which is called spiritual world. So we belong to there. And here also, it says this is all illusion, and which is true, but it's also a real. And when he says it's illusion, it's temporary. It's temporary, and but in Bhagavad Gita, Daivihi Esha Gunamahi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Prapadante Maya Metam Tarantite. So this material nature is one of the energy of Krishna, and that's why it's very powerful. Nobody can surpass it. But if you surrender to Krishna, you can get over with it. Okay, let's see what else we have. She addresses her husband Aja, which refers to one who has transcended the bondage of birth and death. So that's Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is, of course, beyond this material nature, and he is a Shiva Tattva, not material and not Vishnu Tattva, but Shiva Tattva. It's quite different, and it has its own place in the spiritual world. Okay, thank you. To you, Maharaj. You meet him, Maharaj.
Oh, I see. I wasn't. All right. Well, we see that this is the nature of a woman. She has some desires, and she's ready to give various proposals why satisfying these desires is a good idea. We found that with Gita, giving various reasons why her husband should satisfy her desires. So here, a different set of desires, but Sati is proposing, well, this, but that, but this, women and children, wouldn't it be good if we could do this? Wouldn't it be good if we could do that? Wouldn't this be good? Wouldn't that be good? And then, well, for this reason, for that reason, for this reason, for that reason. So that's there even in Sati. Jayadvaita Swami Majatma Maya Vinirmitam Pati Guna Trayatmakam. The cosmic manifestation is Ascharya, astonishing, wonderful, because it's Aja Atma Maya. It's created from the unborn personality of Godhead through his material energy. Vinirmitam Pati Gunat Trayatmikam. Yes, some interaction of the three modes of material nature, but tatapi aham yoshit atatvavit. We have our godbrother Tattvavit Prabhu, so here's atatvavit, one who doesn't know the truth, tattva. The yoshit atatvavit. Well, that's what you should expect. I'm a woman, so I'm not expected to be conversant with the truth, or even if superficially I might know something about the philosophy. Still, I revert to my female nature. And Dina Didrikshe. So I want to see my mother, my sisters, my father, all my relatives. I want to dress nicely. I want to go with my husband, even though maybe superficially I know, or maybe I don't know, but still, this is my nature, so let's go. The Prabhupada comments on Yoshid Caitanya-caritamrta. This is third canto. Tesh Vashanteshu Murdheshu Kanditatmas Vasadhusu Sangam Nakuryach Chocheshu Yoshit Caitanya-caritamrta. Lord Kapiladev says that one should Nakuryach Chocheshu Sangam. One should not associate with Yoshit Caitanya-caritamrta. Actually, he doesn't say that one shouldn't associate with Yoshit, but one shouldn't associate with Yoshit Caitanya-caritamrta, a person who's like Prabhupada says, a doll in the hands of Yoshit, a sadhushu, a person who's just attached to material life, kanditatmasu, bereft of spiritual realization. Ashanteshu, Prabhupada translated as coarse or gross. One shouldn't associate with a gross fool who's like a dancing doll in the hands of a woman. And we see this, that people become all gaga over some woman, and then to please the woman, they'll do anything silly, foolish, rash, because they've become bewildered. So, of course, Lord Shiva is so sober that he's not bewildered, but Sati presents herself as being like a cow or an ass, Sayeva Gokara, because of family affection. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. There are a couple of things in the chat. First off, Praveen Krishna Prabhu says, how is it that she explains the truth and then says she isn't conversant?
Well, one, again, can be taken as superficially conversant. She knows, but she doesn't know.
Okay, next.
Next, Saraswati Mata says, Pranams Param Puji Maharaj and all Vaishnavas. I had relayed before how a how a married woman can tolerate much from any verbal abuses and insults hurled from in-laws, but the slightest negative behavior, words coming from her side of the family, is simply intolerable. She has admitted to the attachment with the illusory family affections, which are stumbling blocks to the path of self-realization, which is her husband's fixed position. I wonder if her wanting to go to the sacrifice is to pacify her father and repair the damaged relationship. Here is an opportunity that affords this goal, but it could be a sign of her naivete and misjudging the extent of her father's enmity.
Well, interesting sort of psychological thoughts. It's like reading we read stories and we try to pull out, how are the characters thinking? So we can do that. There's the acharyas delve into the thoughts of the persons who appear in Srimad Bhagavatam. But then I can't say, was she thinking this or was she thinking that? These are thoughts. But since we haven't seen the acharyas comment in this way, we don't have authority for it. We can just touch upon them. Otherwise, what we see is that just naturally she wanted to be with her father's side, with her side of the family, and dress nicely and be with her husband. I've sometimes joked that our Hare Krishna festival programs serve a useful function because they give the women a chance to dress nicely. So that's natural. Woman wants to dress nicely, be with her husband. So rather than have mundane social occasions, good, we can have kirtan, we can have programs for hearing and chanting, and those who attend can dress nicely, and there can be nice social interactions, but the subject should be Krishna. Otherwise, the materialists, they have so many occasions, birthdays, graduations, this, that, and they all dress nicely and take part in family affairs. So in Krishna consciousness, these things may be there to some extent, but when Krishna, but they can serve as a useful excuse for Krishna consciousness. Any excuse for chanting Hare Krishna, for having kirtan, distributing prasadam, speaking something, Srimad Bhagavatam, that can be useful for Krishna consciousness. Let the relatives be invited and the friends be invited, and then let them get something, Krishna consciousness.
That's a good point, Maharaj. You mentioned like we have so many occasions, Rath Yatras, Janmashtami, so many festivals, and they have a chance to decorate themselves for Krishna's pleasure. So that's a good point.
Thank you.
Anything else we have?
Prabhin Krishna Prabhu offers a verse. Nirjitya drik chakram adbhuta vigraho varasanasta samaraja vandita griheshu maitunya sukeshu yoshitam krida mrigapurusha ishaniyate. Having conquered the entire circle of directions and being thus free of conflict, a man sits on a splendid throne, receiving praise from leaders who were once his equals. But when he enters the women's chambers where sex pleasure is found, he is led about like a pet animal, O Lord. That's Muchukunda? That is Muchukunda speaking?
I think King Muchukunda, yes.
Yeah, that's Muchukunda Prabhu, yes.
A very great verse. He's a great king, he's such a big man, but when he goes to the women's chambers, Prabhupada said he has to bow down at their feet for sense gratification. So, yes.
All right, next, please.
Thank you. Yes, Tulsi Priya says, I'm confused and forgetful about Sati's position. Is she a conditioned soul, Shakti Tattva? I don't understand how such an exalted personality can be portrayed as, quote, just a woman, when she is a powerful being who is able to self-immolate at will. If Arjuna's illusion and disinclination to do his duty on the battlefield was attributed to the arrangement of the Lord, why can't Sati's desire be attributed to the same? Isn't she a pure devotee?
Well, several things. Of course, she's not one of the conditioned souls. She's the energy of Lord Shiva, or the energy of the personality of Godhead. Shristi stati pralaya sadhana shakti reka chayeva yasya bhuvanani bibharti durga. She's powerful, and in one sense she won't be under the modes of nature, because the modes of nature are her business. But the one thing is that Prabhupada, so it can be taken, all of these things can be taken to be manifestations of the Lord's desire. He's setting these things up. Or another point is that even though she's a powerful, like a superwoman, but Prabhupada comments elsewhere that the woman's mentality is there even on the higher planets. It may be more sophisticated, maybe more elevated, but still it's the mentality of a woman. This is very so cleverly and attractively presented by Srila Sanatana Goswami, where Gop Kumar is traveling through different parts of the universe, and he's being recommended to visit now Vaikuntha, and have the darshan of Lord Narayan, and now it's Lord Shiva's wife again is Parvati. She sure puts in there several times, and don't forget about the goddess of fortune. So it's sort of the women speaking up for the women's side of things, even though she's so exalted that she's the direct energy of the Lord. Still, she's depicted as having the female nature. Even in the terms of creation, the Lord Shiva takes the initiative, and the material energy takes the role of supplying the ingredients of material nature and being activated by Lord Shiva. So this male and female principle are still present, even in the upper regions.
Okay.
Venkatesh Prabhu posts a question here. What is the meaning of Yoshit?
Well, okay. Prabhupada gives it, but let's see if there's anything further from the... Monyer Williams gives it as female magical, no. Oh, I see. Yeah, just says a woman. Yeah. just Yoshit means woman, but Prabhupada says specifically one who's enjoyed is referred to as Yoshit.
Yes, in purport it says that because she was a woman, Yoshit. So, yes, Prabhupada says it's a woman. All right, what do we have now?
And
We also
elsewhere
have
here, Yoshit and then Stri, one who expands.
Three.
When we want to enjoy with Yoshit, then our material life expands. We are Kshetra Sutapta Vittai. Janasya Mohanam Mamiti.
Okay, Venkatesh Prabhu, you ready to read now?
we have some more things in the chat actually.
Let's finish it first, fast.
Gurudas Prabhu says, obeisances Maharaj and devotees, to add to what Maharaj just said about Lord Shiva's sober nature, out of great compassion for her, he just wants to spare his beloved wife grief. He will make a series of statements toward the end of the chapter which indicate he knows how it will come out, that her father will only disappoint and anger her and cause her to do something that will cause separation from her all-seeing husband.
True. And I'm reminded of Prabhupada's presentation of misuse of independence, that we're advised don't do this, and still we do it. We're advised that material life will not bring happiness, and still we think, all right, but let me do it. We know that. What is that? Even Dhritarashtra, he's instructed by Akrura that don't treat the Pandavas this way. This will not be good. It will not be good for the kingdom. It won't be good for you. Even hints, essentially, that your whole dynasty could be destroyed. And Dhritarashtra says, I know, but it just doesn't stick. It doesn't stay in my heart. So that also addresses Praveen's question, that she knows, but why does she present herself as not knowing? Well, I know, but still, it just doesn't stick. That's the nature of material attachment. Even though we know, still, we do it. What is Janiya Shunya Vishakoinu? Narottam Das Thakur says, I know it's poison, I've heard it's poison, but still I'm drinking it. This is material life.
Saraswati Devi says, sometimes we may know in theory what we ought to do for progressing in bhakti, but are not able to apply it properly. I find that I am attached to my family, especially my daughter and niece, and need to remind myself that this strong feeling is meant for Krishna and Vaishnavas. Is this present weakness a long-term failing?
Is this? Well, in one sense, it's a weakness. In another sense, it's sort of built in. If this weakness wasn't there, who would take care of, screaming kids? But so women are so made that they'll have this attachment. They'll take care of children. They'll expand the population. They'll take care of children and so on. So it's not, what should we say? It's accepted that, all right, this is how it is. But still, the instruction is given for seeing that ultimately our children, our wives and husbands, our homes, everything is a product of the Lord's material nature. And so we should be intent on being engaged in Krishna's service and not be lost by being captivated by the material energy. So both things are there. It's not that if we just artificially give up family attachment, then the world will fall apart. On the other hand, if we don't give up family attachment, we'll stay in the material world. So both things should be taken into account. Therefore, one should act with detachment. That's Krishna's teaching in the Bhagavad Gita, that one should act, but without attachment to material results or material happiness.
Tulsi Priya has a hands up.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. So as a follow-up question, I want to make sure I understand this idea of feminine nature, masculine nature. They both have their source in Krishna, in the divine couple, because Radharani is the supreme feminine. So then these attributes that we see in women and we attribute to women, they may be contaminated by material nature, but in essence, they're not material themselves. In other words, the feminine nature has its source in the Godhead.
Yeah, there's eternal masculinity and eternal femininity in Radha and Krishna. So the source is ultimately absolute. But that doesn't make our dealings in the material world absolute. I embody the masculine principle, and therefore I'm divine or absolute, or I'm the embodiment of the feminine principle, and therefore I'm absolute. That's Maya. But tracing these, whatever is here in the material world, to its origin in the spiritual world is good, just as long as we don't sort of roll it out backwards and try to ascribe divinity to material existence in the sense of having material existence meant for something as something for our enjoyment.
A lot of bogus yogis preach like that, with fake tantric yoga and everything, that the male is the divine male and the woman is the divine female, and their nonsense is divine also. All right, thank you.
Yeah, this tendency is there. It's a yeah. Anyway, you pegged it.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Saraswati Mata says, thank you, Maharaj, for giving me hope to practice detachment. And Praveen Krishna Prabhu has another question. He says, is Vanaprastha a platform to attain detachment from familial ties or detachment from familial responsibilities?
Yes, both. The Vanaprastha ashram is specifically meant for that. Within family life, some attachment is appropriate. It's expected, and it's expected. It's accepted that yes, the husband should feel some responsibility for his wife. Even so, some attachment. I think the story is there that when Paramananda Prabhu and his wife joined, they'd been together, and then when they joined, they somehow thought that they would live separately, and Prabhupada said, "What's wrong? Don't you like her anymore?" So the attraction is accepted within family life, and there are family duties that what's the word, purify and acknowledge and purify the attachments or the natural attractions of family life. So that's all accepted within family life. There are sacrifices that one performs, yajna, dana, tapa, sacrifices. Charity especially is important in family life, and still observing tapasya, following regular principles. But at a certain stage, now it's time to get free from those responsibilities and those attractions also, from thinking that I'm the husband, I'm the wife, I'm this, I'm that, and coming back to one's spiritual identity more with greater focus, that my only real identity is that I'm the servant of Krishna. Everything else is ultimately illusory. How long am I going to be the husband or the wife of this person? It's not my eternal identity. So at this stage, now let us turn our attention with greater focus to the personality of God.
All right, Venkatesh Prabhu, you're next.
So is it verse number 4,
12.
3, 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Tasya prayanti abhavanya yoshito api alankrita kantashaka varus atha hasha yasham rajadhi siti kantamanditam nabho vimanai kalaham sapandugi. Translation: O never born, O blue-throated one, not only my relatives, but also other women dressed in nice clothes and decorated with ornaments, are going there with their husbands and friends. Just see how their flocks of white airplanes have made the entire sky very beautiful. Purport. Here, Lord Shiva is addressed as Abhava, which means one who is never born. Although generally he is known as Bhava, one who is born. Rudra, Lord Shiva, is actually born from between the eyes of Brahma, who is called Swayambhu because he is not born of any human being or material creature, but is born directly from the lotus flower which grows from the abdomen of Vishnu. When Lord Shiva is addressed here as Abhava, this may be taken to mean one who has never felt material miseries. Sati wanted to impress upon her husband that even those who were not related to her father were also going, to say nothing of herself, who was intimately related with him. Lord Shiva is addressed here as blue-throated. Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison and kept it in his throat, not swallowing or allowing it to go down to his stomach, and thus his throat became blue. Since then, he has been known as Nilakanta or blue-throated. The reason that Lord Shiva drank an ocean of poison was for others' benefit. When the ocean was churned by the demigods and demons, the churning at first produced poison, so because the poisonous ocean might have affected others who were not so advanced, Lord Shiva drank all the ocean water. In other words, he could drink such a great amount of poison for others' benefit. Now, since his wife was personally requesting him to go to her father's house, even if he did not wish to give that permission, he should do so out of his great kindness. So in the first part of the purport, the word meaning of abhava is explained deeply. Mainly, it is like when two people, say one person is talking to another person, generally, if some request has to be made, maybe their previous history is also considered. Okay, maybe you gave donation to this project, that project. So now why not give donation to my project? Maybe something like that.
Hmm.
So then here Sati is considering the same thing, that you are abhava. So the word meaning is explained as one who is never born. So Lord Shiva is also born. He is born from between the eyes of Brahma. It is said when Brahma was angry, then Lord Shiva was born and he became Rudra. So when Lord Shiva is yes, here in this verse, Prabhupada says that abhava means one who has never felt material miseries. So yes, so then Sati wanted to impress upon her husband that even those who are not related to her father, they're also going. So she is saying in the verse that in the text that not only my relatives, but also other women dressed in nice clothes and decorated with ornaments are going there with their husbands and friends in their white airplanes in the entire sky, like that. So they were all going in their airplanes, their private jets. So further in the last part of the book, Prabhupada explains the word meaning of Nilakanta and why is Sati quoting that or bringing that title to him. The history behind Lord Shiva getting his throat blue is that he drank the poison when it was a very dangerous situation for the whole universe when the demigods and the demons they were churning the milk ocean. I think it was the first item that came out that Kalakota poison. So even one drop was like very poisonous, and so then everyone approached Lord Shiva that please help us. First they approached Vishnu, but Vishnu wanted to give an opportunity for the greatness to show the greatness of Lord Shiva. So then they requested Lord Shiva. So then Lord Shiva, because he is very compassionate to all the living entities, so he drank the poison himself. So there is one famous painting of that also in the 8th canto of Bhagavatam. So then his throat, as we know, the poison has its effect, and generally our skin when it's poisoned, like it is said that somebody died out of poisoning, their body becomes blue. So here once he drank the poison, his throat became blue. So therefore, Nila Kanta. Nila means blue, and Kanta means neck. So Nila Kanta. So he is ready to go to any extent to help anyone in this world. So why not you, due to your kindness, maybe forgive him, something like that. So why not give that permission? Because you are anyways kind to everyone, so be kind to me also. Give me permission to go like that. So other devotees can also add. Maharaj, please.
Thank you, Venkatesh Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you.
One thought is that these are what are called attached arguments, which in context of arguments doesn't necessarily have to do with material attachment, but it means that you're not discussing to find out what's the best option. You're not discussing to find out what's the truth. You're discussing to get your point, to have your way. That's called attached argument. And for a person in an attached argument, no amount of reason will work. No amount of reason will work. Lord Shiva will give reasons why this is not such a good idea. But she's not really although she's coming out with so many arguments, which might be considered logical or sensible, ultimately she's being unreasonable. It's not that it has to do with mercy or this or that or the other thing. It all has to do with, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. So that's, we find it also in your arguing with someone who has a philosophy, and no matter how many good arguments you give him, he's going to stick to his guns, not because his arguments are better or because his position is better, but simply because it's an attached argument. No amount of reason, no amount of logic, no amount of evidence will change his mind. That's an attached argument. The detached argument is called vada in Bhagavad Gita. Vada vadadatamaham. Krishna says of various kinds of arguments, I'm that argument which seeks to understand the truth, where both sides are open and say, all right, let's get to the bottom of this. That's called vada. And that's different from attached argument. Anyway, as mentioned before, this is Sati's position. It's basically, I want to go, I want to go, and giving so many arguments. Well, all my sisters are going. Even those who are not related to my family are going. Everybody's going. Why shouldn't we go? Why shouldn't we go? Again, sort of this combination of arguments and persistence. All right. You know, this is there in to give another meaning of attached. Those who are attached to some material enjoyment, they'll argue and argue, but it's good. But it'll save us money. It'll increase. You'll be happy. This, that, the other thing. Some argument ultimately ending in so give me my way. Let me have what I want. So this combination of sort of newer arguments and persistence, so that one finally says, all right. So, yes. But for the sober person like Lord Shiva, he's not bewildered by these things, but he finally does say, all right, go then. But he knows this won't result in happiness.
Thank you, Maharaj. We are approaching that time again. I would request Venkatesh Prabhu, if you can lead the Kirtan, please.
I led it yesterday.
Today also.
Okay, fine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Vishnu Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jayadvaita Swami Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Mishpat Varman Saturvaya Hare Shata Shata Shri Shivan Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Mishpat Varman Saturvaya Hare Shata Shata Shri Shivan Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Antakoti Vaishnavanda Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Raj Thakur Ki Jai. Sensei Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Prabhu Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Gangamaya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Shri Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samvit Gaur Bhakti Ki Jai. All graces and the devotees, all graces and the devotees, all grace, all grace, all grace, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Thank you very much, Venkatesh Prabhu, for leading the Kirtan. And thank you all the devotees for joining the Zoom class. And especially thank you, Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj. Thank you very much. Even though you have a big schedule, traveling far away, you're still coming on a Zoom class for our benefit. Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Coming to get your association.
We need your association, Maharaj. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shish Gonitai ki. His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj ki Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Samaveta Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. Gaur Premanande.
Thank you.